I got a pretty good deal here for you today. I'd like to sell you something. I'd actually like to sell you a lot of something. I'd like to sell you 4,850 pieces of these. This is a POE to 12 volt DC converter with a wireless receiver. I call it the POE driver with a wireless receiver, and I'll show you how it works. It's going to include 4,850 pieces of these. And just to let you know, my landed cost on these is $11.79 a piece. So that equals a wholesale value, $57,181.50. I sell these individually for $29.99. And that's a retail value of $145,451.50. I'd like to sell you all these with shipping included. That includes freight shipping to anywhere in the lower 48 states for $3,000 all in. And it actually includes some free items too. And I'll show you exactly what it includes. But basically what these are is it takes POE, you insert POE in, and all it does is output 12 volt DC. There's nothing smart or intelligent about it. All it does is take POE power and convert 12 volt DC. You can't log into it or anything like that. It's not a smart receiver or a managed receiver. The simple thing that it does is it takes incoming POE and converts it to 12 volt DC. But it has a really cool feature because it has a wireless on-off receiver, and it turns the 12 volt DC on or off depending on the transmitter. And I'll show you. Basically, I bought these for a POE lighting project that I was going to do, and it really never panned out. I bought these several years ago, and it never really panned out, so they've just been sitting in my warehouse for years, and I just really like to get rid of them because they're taking up a lot of space in my warehouse, valuable space. But I'll show you how these work. It's still a really cool product, and for less than $1 a piece, you can't go wrong, I don't think. So let me show you how it works. Now, in order for these to work, you do need a transmitter remote control. Now, I will show you I'll show you my promo video that I made for these at the end of this video so you can kind of get a better idea how they work and how I promoted it and everything. But in order to get these to work, you do need a transmitter or a remote control. You need one that does 433 megahertz, and these can be found all over Amazon. You can find them on Alibaba. You can probably find them from China for less than $5 a piece. I think I bought these a few years ago for the transmitter remote controls for like $1.67 if I remember correctly, FOB China. So you do need these. I'm going to include 67 of these remote controls for free. I'll show you what it looks like. So that does mean you need to buy more remote controls on your own. But like I said, they're easy to find. They're just typical 433 megahertz transmitters. You can search for these on Amazon and find them. I'll kind of explain it more, but the ones that I got look like a light switch because like I said, I was going to do these for a lighting project. But I'm going to show you how to learn it in to one of these transmitters, and it works with a variety of transmitters. Here's another 433 megahertz. I got this off Amazon. I think this is like just like a remote that turns on an alarm or something. It's just a fairly common piece. So, but again, you will need to buy some more. I'm only including 67 for free. So you'll need to buy a lot more. But like I said, they're really cheap. But in order to get these to work, you need to learn them in. So first I'm going to put the battery inside this transmitter. Yep. No, it's working because a blue light comes on when I push the button. And I'm going to use this 12 volt light strip. These are the light strips that I sold on one of my POE server rack lighting kits that I sold. They were kind of popular. If you need POE lighting for your server rack, this is a really good idea, these products. So, but these are the light strips that I sold with the server rack kit. So what you got to do here is, here's the 12 volt DC output. There's a plus and a minus, obviously. So I'm just going to loosen up these terminal screws. And I'm going to put the positive wire in the positive, and I'm going to put the negative wire in the negative terminal. Okay, so I got it partially hooked up now. By the way, these units right here, the 4,850 pieces you're going to buy, they come with a nice double-sided tape to attach it to anything. I got these to basically you can attach these to your server racks and kind of hide them out of the way. Or if you decide to use this with some POE lighting, you can use it to tape it somewhere. Pretty cool. So the next thing you're going to do here is you're going to plug the POE in to a POE switch. And this takes regular, to maximize your 12 volt DC output, you need POE plus. You need at least 25 watts of power coming from your POE port. So you need 802.3 AT POE power. Lower power will work with these, you just won't get your maximum output, your 12 volt DC. So, but assuming you have at least 25 watts coming from your POE switch, you will have at least 17 watts of 12 volt DC power to work with. So that's a little over, that's about let me do a calculation. All right, so I had to go away and do a calculation. It's 1.4 amps of 12 volt DC output you have to work with, okay? So I'm gonna zoom in here in a little bit to show you this, but this has a learning key on it and a little pinhole, and you can kind of push it here. And whenever you learn it in, there's a light that you can kind of see through these vent holes that indicates that the item has been learned in, or the remote control has been learned in. It's kind of hard to see, so just so you can see it better, I'm going to take this case off so you can kind of see the learning light and how it works. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so I got the case off so you can see the learning light a little better. If you do plan on doing this and you're connecting it to POE, try not to touch any of this stuff. It's low voltage, but still, it probably doesn't feel good if you get shocked. I don't know if you're going to get shocked if touching any of that stuff. I haven't tried it. I'm not going to try it. So, but just don't do it. But anyways, what you're going to have to do next is apply POE power to this POE driver. And I'm going to do that. Just any POE switch that outputs POE plus will work, or an injector. And I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. I see that it has power because I see an orange light. Boom. And then I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to show you how to learn this in. Okay, so we can confirm the remote control has power because when I push it, it has a blue light. So to enter this into learning mode, all you do is push this little learning button twice rapidly. Well, so you know, yeah, there it's in learning mode. So the blue light is solid. So now I'm going to learn in the remote control, watch. So it blinked, so that means it's learned in. So hopefully we're going to push this button and this light's going to come on. Boom. And we're going to turn it off. POE lighting. So here's the other 433 megahertz transmitter that I had, shaped like a keychain remote. And I'm going to learn this in just to show you that this works with many different 433 megahertz transmitter remotes. So I like the light switch model just because I was going to stick this on a wall, but you can use these types of varieties or many other varieties out there. But I'm going to go ahead and learn this in. Should be in learning mode, so I'm going to push it. Hopefully it got learned in. I'm going to push it again and see if it works. Yep. So you can source and find the 433 megahertz remote control that you want for your project. I'm going to go ahead and sweeten this deal even more. I forgot that I had a bunch of these still in my warehouse, a bunch of these 12-inch long strip lights, and I have a bunch of them. I'm going to go show you real quick. Okay, so this big box right here is a box full of those lights, and I don't know how many are in here. I got some disc lights in here as well. Cool. So these also work. These are 12-volt DC ceiling disc lights. Oh, yeah, here's one. You've seen these before. That's what I was going to sell these for. I was going to sell them as a package with these to be used as POE lighting for like consumer and small business type POE lighting. So I included a little bit of those that you can have. Just a few, not many, but there's a ton of these strip lights, and I'm going to include them all for free. I don't know how many there are, and they're all a variety of colors. I mean, we got green and yellow. I know we got some red and whites in there, but yeah, there's a bunch in there. Each of these packages include 6 strip lights, and you can see they say fishing bolt on that. That's another business that I have. I actually sold these as lights that you put on outside of a bass boat. They're actually weatherproof. I know you're not going to need that in a server rack, but I sold these same lights for the server rack lights as well, just because I was able to get them from the same supplier. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to throw all those in for free as well. Probably well over 100 pieces in there, just to sweeten the deal for you. Okay, so if you're interested in this, I just ask that you know what you're getting into. You fully watch this video. Know that you're only getting 4,850 pieces of these alone. I'm going to include 67 of these for free, but you will need to buy more of these on your own. You'll need to source them on your own and find one that suits best for your project. And I'm going to include those strip lights for free. This will all be shipped on 2 pallets, and it includes free shipping. But what that means is you'll need to be able to receive this at a location where freight trucks can get to. So if you might not be able to ship it to your house, you know, you might have to call up a buddy who owns a business and ship it there or something like that if you don't have a place already in mind. All sales are final on this. You know, there's no returns, no refunds. I'm not warranting anything. These are all come brand new in box. I've sold a lot of them, you know, with the server rack kits, and haven't had any problems. So, but with that being said, if you have a few that go defective, I'm not going to warrant them. You're getting them less than $1 a piece. So a few that may go defective after a while, it's no big deal. But like I said, I haven't had any problems with them. They're a good little product. So I'll go ahead and show you the promotional video now that I had for these. And if you have any questions, let me know. Now, I also want to say something. I'm not going to split this lot up. You have to buy it all. I'm not going to sell 100. I'm not going to split it in half. If you're interested in trying one out before buying the whole lot, you can buy it on my website. I still have it up as a package. I'm selling this and this as a little package for $39.99 for the whole package. So if you're interested in trying one out before you buy the whole lot, buy that little package first. But keep in mind, I'm not going to hold this wholesale lot for anyone. Whoever buys it first gets it. So if you buy this and it's in transit to you and I sell the wholesale lot to you, I'm sorry. So I think it's a really good deal, especially if you can find a use case for this. Great little POE lighting project, but as you will see in this promotional video, it can be used in basically it can be used for any 12-volt DC device that requires less than 1.4 amps. So you'll see that I used it with some alarm devices and such. So it's a pretty cool little product. I hope you like it. I hope you find some use for it. Any questions, let me know. Thanks a lot for watching.
Introducing the IP CamPower POE to 12-volt DC converter with battery-operated wireless toggle switch. The set consists of a POE driver which takes incoming POE and converts it and outputs it to 12-volt DC. The POE driver has a built-in wireless receiver which will receive on and off commands from the wireless toggle switch. All you gotta do is get an Ethernet cable and plug it into a POE switch. Then take the other end of the Ethernet cable and plug it into the POE driver. Next, plug in your power wires that are connected to your 12-volt DC device. Lastly, learn in the toggle switch to the POE driver and you're done. This is a great tool for many different 12-volt DC power devices, such as this siren. Or check it out with this siren strobe combo. One of the best use cases is to use it with a light strip. This makes a really cool server rack light. You already have POE in your rack, why not use it? Of course, you can also use this to power 12-volt DC disc lights. It will push 1.2 amps of power, which is enough to power 1 and sometimes even 2 disc lights. You can also choose to program one toggle switch to many different POE drivers. The POE driver and the toggle switch both have pre-cut double-sided tape for easy installation. So hop on over to ipcampower.com and pick up a set and have a lot of fun with it. Thanks for watching.